When there are so many games within the same genre, it is very easy for any one of them to go unnoticed, and often I can't quite understand why some gain a lot of traction and others simply do not. Oblivion Override does a lot and does it quite well, but at this point I still don't know if it will fall into grace, nor what else can it do to make that happen. Since you are here, why don't you leave a like, a comment, or even better, subscribe to the channel for more indie content just like this one. It helps a lot. Thank you. Oblivion Override is a 2D roguelite game with fighting elements, platforming and exploration. Graphically in a very steampunk tone that fits like a glove in a game theme, a post-apocalyptic world in which machines have taken over everything. Also, the music is not a pure electronic beat, it has much calmer variations that adapt not only to the style of the level, but also to the room where we do the multiple respawns, which serves as a hub for our development. Although the story develops gradually, I already realized that we are a mecha that works like a virus, trying to destroy all the other robots. We learn new things each time we meet new characters who often become our allies and add something to what we already know. After defeating bosses who are gifted with a short dialogue with an entity that I still don't know what it means, and later by accessing to terminals that allow us to see in third person the plans that the machines are conceiving. When playing, nothing feels very different from games of the same genre. We always have a melee weapon that changes with each run, and we always start at the same procedurally generated level. In addition to having to defeat other machines, it's also important to explore the level so that we can access everything it can offer us. To help with this exploration, we can use the very practical teleportation system that greatly facilitates the way we move around, and as they are generously placed, we hardly miss the option of exploring the entirety of the level before advancing to the boss. As we progress, we can earn 4 different types of currency, 2 of them to use in our evolution in each one of the runs, the other 2 to use in our persistent evolution that we can access after each death. We have a relatively complex skill tree that not only serves to make us stronger, but to make us able to access other items that allow us to evolve in other areas. Progression is slow and insignificant, with each improvement only becoming noticeable after several evolutions, being the game itself the greatest vehicle for our improvement, with our learning of enemy patterns and the little tricks that it offers us. At each level we evolve following a DNA chain, where buying chain links depends on one of the coins we earn. There are evolutions in different areas, and as we combine them we can even level up our mecha. We can also acquire new combat skills to add to what our weapon already has by default. And here, yes, there are skills that are much more useful than others. Combat is quite satisfactory, and we can perfectly feel the difference between each of the weapons, which all seem to be viable without ever having felt that one is much stronger than the other. Just that some suited more my combat style than others, but not enough to skip a higher tier weapon just because I liked another one better. With this, you also lose a bit of combat diversity, as I always had the feeling that I played the same way regardless of the weapon I wielded. My only complaint is that there are some moments of visual confusion, especially when using one of the abilities of one of the weapons, where we lose track of where we are a bit, but most of the time combat depends more on reflexes and memorizing patterns than anything else. There are a lot of things that we unlock as we play. From schematics for new weapons, we find new allies that give us access to new functions to use during the runs, we have stores, puzzles or intermediate bosses. Everything depends on probabilities. But in this game nothing is given to us freely, everything has a price, and the vast majority of these aids are just seen as businesses that we have to buy in order to use, and that doesn't come cheap. At the end of each level there is a boss, and if until then we were able to defeat everything with some ease, then things change. The bosses are much more difficult than all the other enemies and need more repetitions to understand their attack patterns, in addition to suffering a midlife evolution that makes them much more aggressive and difficult to fight. There is a sort of boss branching. I mean, the first level can lead to one of 3 different bosses, but they all lead to the same subsequent level. We don't have access to all of them at first. We need to defeat one to access another, and each one of them is successively more challenging than the previous one. I've loved Oblivion Override. Although the devs told me that I could find some bugs that were already fixed for the final version, I didn't find anything. My experience with the game runs smoothly. The combat is fluid and satisfying, our evolution is slow but not enough for us to not to notice it, and the technical components of the game are practically immaculate. Will players notice Oblivion Override? At this point I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, I can assure you that it is an excellent game that I recommend you without any reservations. See you next time, guys. Bye!